Hello everybody, Voodoo here, and we're here today with the next in my series of taking a look at all of the melee specs in the War Within, or at least most of them. And we're here today with Windwalker. Now Windwalker is what I've been excited about since the basically start of the War Within beta and alpha, because they got a massive rework. The spec tree is completely changed, the class tree is completely changed. They have a pretty cool hero talent tree, but of course they're not without their flaws. So today we're gonna take a quick look at them, look at their spec tree, class tree, and their hero talent trees, like we did with Fury Warrior, like we've done with the other specs as well. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get on to it. So here we are on beta, and oh boy do we have some good stuff. So we're gonna take a look at the class tree first, because I kind of really like it. So a lot of stuff with the class tree is that a lot of the throughput has just been removed, which is perfect. The less throughput that's on class trees, the better. The only real throughput nodes you end up having to take now are fast feet, which, you know, pretty good stuff. You have a choice node here between Chi Wave and Chi Burst, which I'll get to. And you have stuff down here like 4% physical damage, 4% magical damage, and then you have Summon White Tiger statue, and then this 2% damage node. So a lot less nodes actually spent on damage, which means you have a lot more nodes to spend on utility, survivability, and stuff like that. Now the main changes here that have really helped to reduce button bloat is that they've removed Chi from Chi Burst, which means you can actually not take it now, right? When this gave Chi, you kind of had to always take it. Instead, Chi Wave has been reworked and is now just a passive that procs off of Rising Sun Kicks every 15 seconds. Chi Burst has also been reworked to where it's not always active, but your abilities have a chance to allow you to cast it, which feels fine. Definitely, I think though, with the lower down usage of buttons, like lower buttons, this is better. One of the main casualties of this tree is that Dampen Harm has been lost, but to compensate, Fortifying Brew has been made much better. You can see here it says a 1.5 minute cooldown, which is like kind of crazy, but you can actually take it down here to reduce it. So it's a 2-minute cooldown normally. I'm gonna undo changes, but taking this to make it a 1.5, or you can make it a better 2-minute cooldown, which is like really good stuff. There's a lot of movement options in the tree now as well. You can get Transcendence Linked Spirits, which allows you to tether yourself to an ally and activate it like Stone, which is really cool. You have stuff like Lighter Than Air, which is a little dash after you use your roll. And overall, there's a lot of really cool stuff. Other thing is that Touch of Death has been made much less of a focus. The only real 2 Touch of Death nodes are Improved Touch of Death, which is still here, and then the one down here, Fatal Touch, which increases your damage by 5% for 30 seconds after being cast and reduces its cooldown. So this kind of brings it back in line more so with an older style of Touch of Death where you use it for the damage accumulation. You're now using this for a small damage window whenever you actually use it, which I do think is a lot better and a lot less kind of cheesy than the stuff with the kind of AoE Touch of Death stuff that did exist there. You're still able to take all your good stuff, all the good utility you had previously, and realistically it's really good. Now you did end up losing the 2 buffs, Generous Pour and I think Close to Heart's the other one, the avoidance and healing things, which I think is fine. It did definitely suck being forced to take those. You still have Windwalking, which is 1 point for 4% movement speed, still pretty bad. But altogether, I still think this tree is much improved. Oh, and they made Tiger Statue not a button. Now, whenever you invoke Zwen, you just summon it, which is a really good way of actually adding that damage to your tree itself. So, class tree, much improved. I think it's so much better. And there's a lot of choice in it now, which I think is really good. I do want to show you the Lighter Than Air. I think it's really fun. So, what we do here, whenever I roll, watch my buff bar. I'm gonna roll, then I'll get this buff. So for 4 seconds, whenever I double jump, I get a little dash forward. So you can actually bank that if you roll and walk around and have to double jump somewhere else. Really cool, really fun, and allows for a lot of mobility while playing Monk. All right, spec tree time, and oh boy, there's so much good stuff here. There's so much fun talent, so many cool builds, and just, yeah. Now, again, as of the time I'm making this, the sims aren't done, so shout out to the people in the Pika Serenity Discord who are doing those and working on all the stuff. A lot of the knowledge base of this video is from what I read there, what I've gathered there. Obviously, I'm not a Monk main, I'm just doing this for fun to cover everything. Although I have made Monk in, I made Windwalker in Remix, which was fun. But otherwise, you know, not an absolute Monk expert, but I picked up some stuff. Now, talking about the tree itself, the main issues that Monk had in Dragonflight, Windwalker Monk, obviously, in my opinion, was Touch of Death stuff, which I don't think was very fun. The standing in the stomp thing, which I don't also think was very fun. And then just really bad stat scaling, right? Like Verse was your best stat. And whenever Verse is your best stat, you know that you're kind of fucked. So what they've done is they've come through and they really made it better. Oh, also there was like button bloat stuff, but whatever. One of the first things they made better is there actually is a ton of stat scaling now, predominantly with haste. Haste is insanely good for Windwalker now, for a bunch of reasons. One of those reasons is momentum boost. Fist of Fury damage is increased by 100% of your haste and deals 10% more damage each time it deals damage. And you also get auto attack speed after you use it, which is pretty good there too. So not only now does haste increase your Fist of Fury damage, it also increased the channel time of it, so you get more damage in short duration. We have a new talent here, or down here, sorry, Glory of the Dawn was changed, where Rising Sun Kick has a chance equal to 100% of your haste to trigger a second one, giving you more chi, which is really good. They've changed around the economy as well for your energy regen, which means haste is much more important there as well. And then finally, they've made Whirling Dragon Punch a lot better with a talent down here. Either Revolving Whirl or Knowledge of the Broken Temple. Both of these kind of hook onto Whirling Dragon Punch and give it additional effects, either granting you Dance of Chi-Ji, which then also gives you Blackout Kick, or giving you a bunch of stacks of Teaching the Monastery and giving more damage there. They also just made its damage better. So haste reduces its cooldown, giving you more of these, so this is really good as well. So that's a great way just to start baseline, getting more haste for your abilities, getting more haste for resources, and then just these things here that tie in with haste is really good for Windwalker. They've also made Mastery better. So they increased Mastery's baseline from 10% to 12%, and then made it scale 20% faster. So now you actually gain more Mastery and start at a higher base level. So Mastery is also a lot more valuable. And of course, crit is just generically pretty strong, because if you have these like strong single target hits that happen, obviously crit's pretty good. So right there, boom, stat scaling is really good and really back, which is really good. Now, another thing is auto attacks. Windwalker has never really been a thing for auto attacking. Part of that, of course, is because you don't auto attack when you're channeling Fist of Fury. But with the increased haste scaling, as well as the thing here where auto attack speed is increased by 60% for 8 seconds after Fist of Fury ends, you're getting a lot more auto attacks, which does actually kind of offset the autos you lose while you're channeling Fist of Fury. And the reason that auto attacks are good now is a little talent down here called Dual Threat, which your auto attacks have a 20% chance to instead kick your target, dealing 80,000 fizz and increasing your damage dealt by 5% for 5 seconds. Now this is pretty strong. It's been nerfed a bit, of course. It used to be almost as powerful as a Rising Sun Kick. Rising Sun Kick, of course, still more powerful, deals 300,000 physical instead of about 100,000. But this is really good. Obviously having it, wow, sorry about that. The game crashed. So as I was saying, this is really good. Just having the extra damage, having the extra 5% damage amp as well. Pretty strong stuff. A lot of stuff in the middle here has been mostly the same. Left side, we have like Last Emperor's Capacitor stuff, which goes into Power of the Thunder King, which gives you like an AoE, Crackling Jade Lightning, which is really cool. They've made Jade Fire Stomp a lot better, giving you a passive to it, so you don't need to actually bind it to a button. Then also not tying resets to you standing in it, which is much better. Removed the Guillotine stuff, which is great. Removed Serenity, which is good. They added a ton more nodes down to Strike of the Windlord. Rushing Jade Wind is now a passive that is applied from Strike of the Windlord. Thunder Fist now grants you 4 stacks baseline plus an additional 1 for each enemy you struck, which again further increases the value of auto attacks. You have stuff like Gale Force, which just gives you an extra 10% damage basically after you use Strike of the Windlord. Then you have talents down here that just give you more damage and more Strike of the Windlord cooldown. And then finally just this thing down here, which is kind of weird, but gives you some Tiger Palm stuff. Yeah, it's fine. Tiger Palm stuff also has other options on the tree as well. You have Touch of the Tiger, which is just flat Tiger Palm damage, as well as Martial Mixture, which is Blackout Kicks giving you more Tiger Palms. These are interesting because of the tier set, which is Tiger Palm based. So every Tiger Palm gives you a 5% increased damage of your next melee ability, and then your other melee abilities increase the damage of your next Tiger Palm by 25%. And then you also deal 15% of Tiger Palm's damage to nearby enemies. Not super powerful talents. I don't think you'll end up taking them because of that, but again, no sims. That's all really cool stuff there. Again, though, other cool stuff in here. We've added an easier to use option against hit combo with Flurry of Zwen. Obviously, hit combo is super duper powerful. There is Meridian Strikes if you do like Touch the Death, but like whatever. And we've also brought back Weapons of Order, basically. So Ordered Elements reads during Storm, Earth, and Fire. Rising Sun Kick reduces chi cost by 1 for 7 seconds. And Blackout Kick reduces the additional cooldown by an additional second. And then activating Storm, Earth, and Fire resets the remaining cooldown of Rising Sun Kick and grants you 2 chi. So that's really cool. So your cooldowns are a lot more powerful. The class itself plays a ton better, right? Like stuff like Whirling Dragon Punch is much better. Now, I think the biggest loss is you actually lose Expel Harm. Combat Wisdom means that you will just cast Expel Harm with your Tiger's Palm, which gives you some extra damage, but you do lose that Chi generation. Now, I don't think it's that bad because the Chi generation now is a lot less based on random procs. A lot less based on random resources, but it's based more on like procs and consuming those. Because now Blackout Kick actually generates you a Chi. So that's how you're kind of using that resource instead of the extra stuff from Expel Harm. And it actually does a really good flow, because if you're using this talent, every Whirling Dragon Punch gives you a Dance of Chi-Ji, which then gives you a Chi through Blackout Kick, or of course you can use this one, which gives you a ton of Blackout Kicks. No sims, so I've just been playing that, but again, it works really well. You actually have a ton more resources, and I really like the controlled flow of it. I found it really fun, really great stuff. I actually cannot gush more about the Windwalker Spec tree. I think it's really fun. The only downside, I think, is this, because it feels a little weird at first, but once you get used to it, it's good. Other than that, I think these nodes are just kind of bad. Blackout Kick critical strike chance increased by 5%. This one's Tiger Palm damage increased by 25%, which like kind of sucks. Obviously, it comes down to Crane Vortex, which gives you a ton of spinning crane kick damage, which is good for AoE, right? Like this is an ST one, and this is a AoE build. And again, these are like not set in stone stuff. This probably be there, but whatever. But these two nodes over here are just super powerful. This one's not even like super powerful, but compared to this side, it's way better, right? Like Ascension is just so needed when we have so much less regeneration of energy, and this is just 2% crit, which is pretty good. That's a spec tree. Really cool stuff. The last thing to dive into, of course, is the two hero talent trees. All right, so last and of course certainly not least, we have the hero talent trees, which is the main new thing of this expansion. We're gonna start with Conduit of the Celestials, which is the best tree for Windwalker in all scenarios currently, as of the time this was recorded, which is July 18th. Conduit of the Celestials is sick. So, Conduit of the Celestials devote themselves to the teachings of the August Celestials to embody their wisdom and harness their strength. Master Conduits may briefly channel the power of all Celestials at once. So this is based around the four gods of the Pandaren mythology: Zwen, Chi-Ji, Yu'lon, and Dave, Nizao. I think I'm saying that right, but yeah, and it's pretty cool. So what it does, it gives you a 1.5 minute button that's just like an AoE nuke, deals 3.7 million nature damage, and also heals allies. It does split them evenly, but it does increase 6% per enemy struck up to 30. You can move while channeling, but casting other healing or damaging spells does cancel it. So you can't do other damaging things, but you can move around with it and stuff like that. Now, this also leads into a bunch of other celestial themed abilities. Courage of the White Tiger. Tiger Palm has a chance to cause Zwen to claw your target. And whenever you invoke Zwen, the White Tiger, so you use your cooldown, you always cast this next time you Tiger Palm. You have Heart of the Jade Serpent. Every 45 Chi, cause your next strike of the Windlord to summon Yu'lon, which gives you 75% extra cooldown time on Sun Kick, Fury, and Strike of the Windlord and Whirling Dragon Punch, which is really cool. You have something here, Strength of the Black Ox. After you punch with Zwen, Nizao comes back and cause your next Blackout Kick to give you 2 stacks of Teachings of the Monastery and also a little bit of extra damage. And then finally, we have the Chi-Ji one. Rushing Jade Wind and Spinning Crane Kick have a chance to cause Chi-Ji to increase your energy generation by 20% and also deal damage to 5 enemies. To further that, of course, we have much more. We have something here that just is like defensives based around the Celestials. We have something here, Inner Compass, which is you switch between alignments after an August Celestial assists you. So every time you have a thing that's assists you from a Celestial, you get a different stat. So when Chi-Ji procs, you get haste. When Zwen procs, you get crit. When Nizao procs, you get verse, and when Yu'lon procs, you get mastery. There is a simpler option against this, which is about Jade Fire Stomp. Not sure if that's better or not. Again, no sims. And then finally, the last 2 nodes are just kind of damage. This one's like Fist of Fury, Spinning Crane Kick damage, or Teach of the Monastery, Tiger Palm damage. And this one here is Rushing Jade Wind related. Either more duration or Zwen actually triggers it. And then finally at the bottom here, whenever you use Conduit, you can have all the Celestials trigger at once at double effectiveness. So you get the damage from these 3, from Zwen, Nizao, and Yu'lon, Chi-Ji, and then you get extra Yu'lon CDR. This is really cool. So I'll show you what the thing looks like first off. So if we go up to a single target here, and I just push the button, it's just a big large channel like this, so it looks pretty cool. Pulses damage, and at the end it summons Chi-Ji, it summons Yu'lon, and then also summons Zwen. I don't know where Zwen went. The issue with it is it's a big range, and it can actually hit things you're not in combat with. You probably saw Chi-Ji kind of just zoom off at the bottom and go over here, because he just went and hit stuff, which is obviously not great, but it does happen. And then we can proc Zuen to have mini Zuen kind of strike and claw, so you can see it right there, hits it and then goes away. So really cool stuff. You really do feel like you're in tune with all the celestials. To my knowledge, Nizao never shows up, even though you have all this stuff here. Like if I go and I blackout kick here, because we have strength into Black Ox, he doesn't. Oh, he does show up. I was wrong. There you go. He does show up. So you do actually summon all 4 of them, which is really sick. I love the celestials. It's a big part of the mythology there. So this one is currently the best by a large margin, right? Like it's just a big target nuke, a lot of other abilities as well. Its one downside is it does make Windwalker a very bursty, cooldown oriented spec. So a lot of your damage comes in your cooldowns because of stuff like Ordered Elements, all those wind amps. You have like the CDR here from Heart of the Jade Serpent, and then just the massive damage amp from Celestial Conduit, right? Like you're just doing 4 million with it or something like that. And this can be mimicked by Storm, Earth, and Fire for extra damage, right? So a lot of damage there, but I think it's really cool. Really cool hero talent tree. It's like one of my favorite out of all the specs. I just really love the visuals and I love the theming. All right, so the last hero talent tree in the last part of this video is Shado-Pan. Shado-Pan learn from their forebears, get it, bears and pandas, and stand proud against their foes to defend friends and family. They bide their time to charge power before unleashing a flurry of blows to overwhelm their opponents. Not gonna lie, this tree just basically doesn't work. It's pretty undertuned compared to Conduit the Celestials, but it also just doesn't really function very well. It's better for Brew, but for Windwalker, it just doesn't really work. So the main idea of this tree is flurry strikes. So every like 300,000 damage you deal, 273, you get a flurry charge, and then every 400 energy you spend, you unleash them all, dealing 340,000 physical damage per charge. So you have 10 of them. So that's 340,000 physical damage, basically every 400 energy you spend. Now you get those a lot really quickly because you also have this one versus many. Damage dealt by Fist of Fury and Kick Smash count as double. And then it also increases Fist of Fury damage. So you cap out on these incredibly quickly. And there's not really anything that matters there. Rest of the tree is just kind of passive damage bonuses. You have stuff like this, striking the same target 5 times in 2 seconds grants 1% haste. Multiple instances of the effect may overlap, striking up to 10 times. So just a lot of like individual hits. Stuff here, flurry strikes have more crit, or just like an AoE thing. Enemies who die within 5 seconds of being hit by one explode. Not a very good talent. Generally things that die after, like things that are like, oh, an enemy dying within X seconds, those are never great. You have 10% armor pen, which is like interesting. A lot of bosses do have armor, but it's like whatever. More healing, which is cool. Chi burst, Chi wave, expel harm, heal you for 20% damage dealt. Interesting. Flurry strikes increase your agi by 1% for 6 seconds, stacking up to 20 times, but again, they stack at 10. So I don't know why this stacks up to 20 times. Blackout kick deals additional 20% critical damage and increase the damage of your next set of flurry strikes. Cool, whatever. And then you have a defensive here. When your health is below 50, you get like a whirling steel thing, which is interesting. And then you just get dodging and parrying, which is pretty useless for Windwalker in PvE. The capstone here, Wisdom of the Wall, is actually pretty cool. The best part here is the haste and all the, well, you actually don't get haste, but it's all the stats you get from it. So that you get 4 different things. You get one of these at a time, and it's every time you proc the Wisdom of the Wall. Flurry strikes. First one, critical strike damage increased by 30%. Sure. Second one, dodge and critical strike chance increased by 25% of your versatility. Interesting. The bottom one, effect of your mastery increased by 25%. Again, interesting. And the third one, flurry strikes deal 68,000 shadow damage to all uncontrollable enemies within 6 yards. That doesn't work. And the reason it doesn't work is because you actually can't get another flurry strikes within 20 seconds. The buff will time out before you end up actually getting another one. So it's really, I don't like this tree at all. I think visually it's fine. If we go up to a dummy with not a lot of people at it, so we'll go here. I'm just going to get Chi so I can Fist of Fury. So if we do Fist of Fury, we're going to hard cap on basically all of our flurry charges here, or at least most of them. We're at 9, so we're basically going to get all the way there. So that's 1 or 2 charges of the energy spent. So we have 10 here still. So this will be 3. We're just Tiger Palming 4, 5. So it takes 8 Tiger Palms to do all this, which is a lot. 6. Boom, we're still here at flurry charges. Gotta wait for my energy to come back up. 7, so next one should summon it unless it doesn't count beforehand. 8, boom, and then we just kind of flurry strike, which is fine. Oh, here we go. We have the Wisdom of the Wall thing. So you actually can't get this back in time. So 20 seconds is not enough time to use 8 Tiger Palms. So that's 3 Tiger Palms. Again, I'm just sitting here. I'm just letting my energy regen. I'm not touching anything else. But you don't actually have enough time to get it back. So I'm like halfway and Wisdom of the Wall just dropped off. So yeah, I don't know. This tree is just kind of non-functional. 400 energy is weird when it caps at 10. It's really easy to cap on charges and just like get no effect, because again, all I'm doing is pushing Fist of Fury and nothing else. Fist of Fury will basically cap you in itself just one time, and you can get multiple Fist of Fury casts in this window. So you'll cap on charges, nothing's going to happen there. A lot of these buffs aren't really going to be valuable, like Flurry Strikes, dealing extra damage doesn't do anything. Visually it's kind of cool, but like, I don't know, the tree itself just doesn't work too well, and I think is the biggest blemish on Windwalker as it currently stands. All right, and that's gonna be it for Windwalker. This one was probably a little bit longer. Apologies if I was talking a little quick. There's a lot of information for Windwalker, but guys, try this spec out. It's so fun. Really is a really good like version of Windwalker. The spec tree is an absolute W. There's not a single 2-point talent as far as I can tell in the entire spec tree. I think there's some in the class tree, but it's really good. So many options, so many different builds you can play, so many different talents. Celestial is fun. Shado-Pan does suck. I do wish they'll look at that, but like overall, it's great. It's really fun. It's really enjoyable. Just try it out. Give it a try. It's wonderful. Big shout out to people from the Mists of Serenity, Peak of Serenity Discord, the Windwalker section, of course. If you have any questions, anything like that, go check them out there. I know some stuff about Windwalker, but I'm not like an absolute expert at it as I am in Havoc. So many deeper questions, stuff like that, go check them out. They're also working on Sims. So hopefully by the time you're watching this video, Sims are out. But if not, I think Sims will probably be out by Tuesday when all the Spectre stuff goes live. So wonderful, wonderful, wonderful stuff. Really excited. And again, like take a chance on this one. Try out some Windwalker. It's really fun. So there you go. Hope you guys all enjoyed. I will see you guys next time. Early next week. I don't know if we're doing a Havoc video or not, but for another video about some melee somewhere. And yeah, so thanks for hanging out, guys. See you guys next time. Peace. A big thank you to all of my channel members. Thank you Sky Elk, Andrew Keenel, 100,001 Zans, Brad Wisniak, Felfa Darren Dark Terror, and Magic Man 133. Thank you all so much. If you want to help support me and help fund the channels and the videos, follow the link in the description to become a channel member and get some cool perks in the process. Again, thank you all so much. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.